Hello everyone, this is part 4 of What If Naruto Had the Ninetails and the Shinigami sealed inside him, and I hope you guys enjoy this video and to like, to subscribe, to share, and check out the playlist, to see more comment down below. Now let's start the intro.
They call me a god. They call me a god. They call me a god.
Join my membership, the perks are great. It's in the description. Be sure to like and subscribe, it gives me more motivation. Enjoy. It has been 3 weeks since Tsunade took the position of Hokage. During that time Naruto had been training with Urahara and Sasuke was secretly training with Orochimaru. At last Naruto and Yoroiki returned to Konoha with their training complete and Naruto finding out the name of his Zanpakuto, but you guys won't know that till later equals D. When Naruto entered Konoha he felt a strange Ryatsu. He looked around but saw nothing and he continued to walk. That's the same Ryatsu reading from when I met Tsunade, Naruto said to himself as he continued to walk. He then heard this beeping noise which oddly came from inside his Soul Reaper tunic. He took it out and it was this tracking device thing. Yoroiki, what is this? Naruto asked, showing the black cat the device. It's basically a tracking device for hollows, every Soul Reaper gets one. But it's odd, that's not a reading for a Soul Reaper, the Ryatsu is too great. Yoroiki said as they continued walking. What could it be? Naruto asked. It could be a Bount, it's too weak to be an Arancar. Yoroiki stated. A Bount, they're people who feed on human souls and use these doll-like things to fight for them. Yoroiki said as they then heard a loud scream coming from the Hokage mansion. Naruto and Yoroiki then dashed toward the source of the scream. A ninja was thrown out of the window landing onto the ground. It had been severely bitten by the looks of it and the window came from Tsunade's office. Naruto and Yoroiki raced up the steps and immediately went into the Hokage's office where 5 needles shot out from Shizune's arm and were aimed for Naruto. Naruto dashed to the left and immediately unsheathed his Zanpakuto and looked at Tsunade and Shizune. Yoroiki stepped back. What is the meaning of this? Naruto said. Oh, the screams, well I was hungry. Tsunade said like it was nothing. Eating a human, wait, you ate his soul? Yes, you catch on quick boy, I am in fact a Bount. And your soul looks pretty tasty right about now. Shizune attack. Shizune staggered then shot 17 darts out at Naruto. Naruto blocked them with his sword and then dashed toward her. Shizune secretly pulled out a knife from her sleeve and quickly slashed across Naruto's face making him step back. Tsunade then took the opportunity to punch Naruto into the wall, making somewhat of a crater you could say. Why are you doing this? I thought you were a good guy. You even gave me this N-lace that you treasured so much. Naruto shouted. That was simply a tracker, sir. I knew where you were. I decided to let you train at Urahara's for a while before I decided to go for you. Tsunade said and ordered Shizune to fire more darts out at Naruto who continued dodging them. Tsunade attempted to punch him again but Naruto kneed her back then slashed her stomach. Shizune shot 3 darts at his shoulder and Tsunade punched Naruto back into the wall. Shizune, stop it. Don't you have a mind of your own? Naruto shouted and then dashed to the other side and slashed at the long vambrace-like thing that Shizune shot the darts from. She doesn't, every Bount has a doll, and Shizune is mine. I disguise her as a human so no one gets suspicious because unlike you Shinigami, most people can see us. Tsunade said as she watched Naruto and Shizune parry each other's sword and knife slashes. Naruto made 15 clones that started punching the living hell out of Shizune as Naruto formed a Rasengan and slightly hopped up. Naruto slammed the Rasengan in Shizune's stomach making her disguise disappear. She was made out of an obsidian-like material and had a Japanese demonic mask with the mouth being open. The mouth then shot a yellow cannon out of it striking Naruto in the shoulder and making him hit the ceiling while making the clones disappear. Naruto's shoulder was bleeding as Shizune got up and fired 3 more short yellow orbs at Naruto. Naruto held onto his shoulder and ran then dashed towards Tsunade as the two collided punches. The punch broke Naruto's knuckles and he twitched as he was punched back into the hallway. Shizune fired a huge yellow ray of energy through the wall at Naruto. Naruto dashed to the left and took a knee. He panted as he saw Tsunade come up to him and knee him in the chin. She then attempted to try and bite him. Naruto then SD Tsunade across the face and then punched her back. He then made 2 clones to tackle her. The clones disappeared just like Naruto wanted as he SP'd her in the stomach while she was busy with the clones. I didn't want to do this, Naruto said, feeling a bit sorry. Naruto saw that Shizune fired a big cannon blast at Naruto and he quickly spun his sword around so the blast hit Tsunade and basically obliterated her. The sword was fine, but he was then hit with a small blast and slammed into the wall. Apparently Shizune was still fighting although her master had perished. Naruto appeared in front of her and slashed rapidly at her mask. It then cracked and Shizune self-destructed, making Naruto slam into the wall. Naruto stared at the mess from the fight, then looked at the end lace. He gripped it hard and sped it off his end, then stood up and walked off. Yoroiki immediately began to follow him, worried about him of course. Naruto, are you okay? Yoroiki asked. Yeah, I'm fine, Naruto said, going to well and throwing the end lace in there. I'm tired from the fighting, Yoroiki. Why can't there just be peace? Naruto said lowly. There will always be people who think differently and even hate peace. Either it's really how they think or how they were brought up. Yoroiki said, hopping on his good shoulder. Well, I don't like it. I intend to stop all this fighting even if it KS me. Naruto declared as he looked up. Naruto, Naruto. A feminine voice called out to him which was coming closer. Naruto turned around to see Sakura running at him with a worried look on her face. Tears were streaming and she halted seeing Naruto's wounds. She offered for him to come over to her house so she could heal him. Naruto accepted and the two slowly walked to Sakura's house. Once they got there, Naruto had to take his shirt off and Sakura began to heal his shoulder wound. Why were you looking for me? Is something wrong? Naruto asked. Sakura finished healing then looked at Naruto. Yes, there is. Sasuke has disappeared. He told me he was going to Orochimaru for training. But Orochimaru is evil, does he not know that? Naruto asked. I don't think he cares. He just wants power. Sakura said. She also added, can you bring him back, please, I beg of you. Of course, I'll rally up a team and we'll search right now. It's only the afternoon, he couldn't have gotten too far. He left today, correct? This morning. I'll find him, I promise. Naruto said, putting his Soul Reaper tunic on, then he disappeared to rally up a team. That girl had some immense Ryatsu in her, Yoroiki said. You don't think she's a... Her healing abilities could rival that of a lieutenant in the 4th squad, she could be. I'm going to go back and send her to Urahara to see if she is actually a Soul Reaper. You go find a team and find Sasuke. Yoroiki instructed and Naruto nodded as he watched the black cat leap off of his shoulder and go back to the house. After an hour of thinking it over, searching, all he found was Neji and Shikamaru who were willing to do this. Naruto couldn't find anyone else that would help him find Sasuke, so the three then decided to leave. Before they reached the gates, two familiar Shinigami appeared. Kyoraku-sensei, Naruto said, smiling as he saw his captain appear. He also saw Nanao tag along as well. I don't know if that's how you spell her name, so bear with me equals P. I see you're a bit short on some people, so I wouldn't mind tagging along. Kyoraku said. Nanao then nodded in agreement. Are these friends of yours, Naruto? Neji asked, looking at him. Good friends. Kyoraku is my captain and Nanao is the lieutenant in the Soul Society. I'll explain on the way to find Sasuke. Naruto said. Neji and Naruto only met recently, but Neji heard about him. Same goes for Shikamaru. These two were the only other ones that could see Soul Reapers and Hollows. Well, I guess we better go. Kyoraku said as the five dashed off into the forest. Seems like they're taking the bait. Time to send out the sound 4. Jirubo, you're first. Orochimaru said through a microphone that the sound 4, Sasuke, and Orochimaru had. Excellent, he said, smiling as he dashed off from his hiding place. Jirubo appeared directly in front of Nanao and kicked her into a tree. Naruto immediately caught her and stood on a limb and set her down. Kyoraku grinned and pulled out his swords. You two go on ahead, I'll hold this guy back. Kyoraku said, grinning as the four dashed off. You think you can take me on? Get real, Jirubo said as he grinned and leaped towards Kyoraku. Kyoraku simply slashed at Jirubo, but it didn't hurt him at all and Kyoraku was sent flying back into a tree. The captain then ducked as Jirubo attempted to punch him but punched a tree, making it fall over. What the? How come my swords didn't L you? Kyoraku said. The sound 4 are a bit special. I know who you are, Shinigami. We are an outcast Arancar, the ones who didn't follow Aizen. We have the same abilities. Jirubo said, showing Kyoraku the hollow substance on his back. I see. Seems like the rest are in trouble, Kyoraku thought as Kyoraku began to accurately slash at Jirubo, who just took it, only getting mini cuts. Jirubo grabbed Kyoraku's head, making his hat fly off. He then threw him up in the air. Kyoraku spun around as his spiritual pressure swarmed around his swords as he quickly spinned around and slashed at Jirubo. This time it did something and practically slashed him in half. Well, that wasn't too hard, Kyoraku said, jumping up to retrieve his hat. He then left the corpse. Ugh, we lost Jirubo, a voice said to Orochimaru. Yeah, he was the weakest of us all though, seems like a horrible matchup of him going up against a captain. Another voice said to Orochimaru. Kimimaro, you're up next. Remember, do not attack Naruto. Orochimaru said. Roger roger, Kimimaro said as he leaped from his hiding space. Neji immediately attacked Kimimaro but was thrown against a tree and had webs cover him. Kimimaro leaped at Neji as the Hyuga broke free of the web and the two began to exchange punches. Neji ordered the rest to continue as he was parrying each of Kimimaru's attacks. Kimimaro then took out a sword that was a clay-like substance with a mustard yellow color and insanely sharp. Kimimaro began to S at Neji, who parried each of his attacks. Neji then spun around doing his rotation, which sent Kimimaro back. The man then spun a web from his mouth and wrapped it around a tree, then swooped down and kicked Neji back, then slashed him in the chest. Neji focused chakra to his hands that were like chakra knives, you could say. He slashed at Kimimaru's shoulder but that did nothing. He got slashed again, then wrapped in the webbing once more. Kimimaru pointed his sword at Neji and slashed at him, but Neji had an outburst of chakra, which made Kimimaru get sent back again. Neji unleashed his Byakugan, don't know if I spelled that right, and quickly darted at Kimimaru. Kimimaru slashed at Neji but the Hyuga ducked down and then looked up at the guy. 8 trigrams 64 palms. Neji called out and began to strike him 64 times as the title said. Kimimaru stayed still for a moment and Neji thrusted his palm into his chest. Kimimaru rose his head up and espered Neji in the chest, then kicked it in. It was only till a few minutes that the pain of the trigrams hit Kimimaru and he collapsed. He slowly got up, feeling pain from all his nerves. Kimimaru took his sword house and SD at Neji again, who blocked the blade and thrusted his palm at Kimimaru's nose. Neji then charged up at him and began to strike him at all angles. Kimimaru then shot web at Neji's eyes, then shot web at his feet. Kimimaru then attempted to S at Neji, who grabbed the sword and used most of his chakra to crack it greatly, so if he swung it again it would break. Neji fell back and was slashed, making his chest wound greater. Kimimaru's sword broke but he then slammed Neji down and put his knee over the wound, making the blood gush out. Neji then started coughing up blood, but due to the webbing over his mouth the blood just went back into his mouth. Eventually Neji suffocated on his own blood and lay there motionless. This one is down, Orochimaru. Kimimaru said, grinning, then disappeared. Naruto, Shikamaru, and Nanao continued to run towards the area Sasuke's Ryatsu was at. Naruto was a bit worried on how Sasuke's Ryatsu has changed over the time he's seen him. No human could do that, so was Sasuke something more of a human? Naruto didn't want to find out, but he knew that he was going to. After a few hours of running, a sound spread across the forest. It sounded something like a flute. What was that? Shikamaru said, but then he saw a tree get violently chipped as he saw sound waves come towards them. Nanao and Naruto unsheathed their swords to guard them from the sound waves. The forest then went quiet for a moment and there were a few cracks from the tree behind Shikamaru and the two Shinigami. The tree cracked in half. A large body that has its eyes blindfolded and has so shirt and looks buff. It also had these spikes strapped to the sides of his arms. It then came charging at the three. The body close-lined Shikamaru and attempted to punch Nanao, but she guarded with her sword. Another body came at the opposite direction. This time it had a shirt on and its hair covered its face and it wielded a spiky club. It attempted to S Shikamaru down, but he simply jumped over it and dashed toward another tree. Nanao then got kicked by the third body, which looked like a mummy with its hands wrapped and everything but his legs wrapped. Naruto, go, we can hold of these guys. Nanao said, and Naruto dashed off. Shikamaru, go find the source of this music. I can hold off these guys for a while. Nanao said as she continued dodging the three boss attacks. Nanao looked up to see the body with the spiky club charge at her as he placed a hand on the boss' shoulder, then said, Hado 11 Suzuri Raiden. Then an electrical current flowed through the body and basically shocked them from the inside. The body then fell crashing into a few tree limbs until landing on the ground. The blindfolded one attempted to S at Nanao, but she guarded with her sword, then spun around and SD at the summon's face. She then put her foot on the summon's back and jumped to another tree limb with it. Nanao then saw the other summon come at her, the one with everything bandaged but the mouth and the legs. Ye Lord, mask of blood and all creation, flutter of wings, ye who bears the name of man. Inferno and pandemonium, the sea barrier surges, march on to the south. Nanao chanted as a ball of red energy came from her palm and shot the summon right in the chest, sending it flying onto the other summon. This really takes a lot out of me when I'm not in the Soul Society, Nanao said, panting heavily as she saw the blindfolded one come at her again. All she could do at the moment was dodge. Shikamaru continued to pursue the source of the music. It got louder and louder. The sound waves began to come again, which SD Shikamaru's Chunin jacket a bit, but other than that he managed to dodge it. He then found the source, which was a red-headed girl playing the flute with these strange lines on her body. The girl turned to Shikamaru and then made a concentrated sound wave go towards Shikamaru. The Chunin got hit and was slammed to a tree. So you found me, I see, but you're too late, the girl said as the tune of her flute immediately changed. The boss then all got up and ran past Nanao as she saw them head to the direction where Shikamaru was heading. Nanao followed them and saw that the boss didn't even look and try to fight her like last time. She then saw the person making the noise and saw Shikamaru. The boss then stopped and their mouths began to open as worm-shaped transparent objects came out of the mouths. These worm-like things had mouths all around its body. The worms aimed for Shikamaru as the Chunin began to run. Nanao took the chance to jump up and attempt to S one of their heads off, but the sword was caught and she was thrown up into the limbs of the tree. The worms quickened their pace insanely fast as the tune got faster and faster. The worm then went through Shikamaru's chest and it seemed to pull out his soul. Shikamaru's eyes widened as the worms were basically pushing him. He couldn't move as his legs and arms got numb. The worms then went straight through him and basically ate his soul. I know that the worms eat their chakra, but I decided to change that. Nanao watched as Shikamaru fell limp. She then looked at the girl and asked, "What did you do to him?" "Basically I took out his soul. I'm the only Arancar that can do that between the four of us," the girl said and smiled. "You're an Arancar? I thought they all went to Aizen," Nanao said. "Please, the four of us who are Arancar said that he was fit to be a leader and his plan was Stai, so we followed Lord Orochimaru. Now enough with the small talk," the girl said and continued to play her flute. "Bakudo one sai," Nanao said after she dodged the worms. The spell tied up the girl's hands and her flute dropped to the ground. The worms became motionless and so did the three summons. Nanao simply charged up at her and espered her in the gut all the way through. The girl coughed up blood, then opened up her palm as a red ball of energy formed in her hand. A Cero, Nanao thought as she was blasted back hard by the red blast. The girl took the sword out of her body and coughed a bit more, then dashed at Nanao. The vice captain's face was halfway burnt and bleeding. She then raised her palm up and chanted, "Bakudo 8, repulse." A round shield formed around Nanao, and when the girl attempted to slash Nanao, she got paralyzed and began to plummet to the ground. Nanao dived down and took the sword and began to S her rapidly. She then put her foot on the Arancar's face, and when they hit the ground, Nanao used the girl as a cushion. Nanao then had her sword glow with her spiritual energy as she espered the Arancar's heart. After a while she checked the pulse to see if the Arancar was alive. She saw the summonings disappeared and saw that she was S. Better meet up with Naruto, hope he didn't run into anyone, Nanao said as she dashed towards Naruto's direction. Naruto walked into a grassy field where he met a man with no shirt and white hair. He had the same clothing as the others, but as I said before, no shirt. There was a marking on his chest and some red make-up-y stuff under his eyes. A large cylinder-like thing was beside him. "Uzumaki Naruto, I see you finally arrived," the man said. "How do you know my name?" Naruto asked. "Sasuke told me, of course. Just to be fair, I'll tell you my name, Kimimaro," he said as he saw Naruto unsheath his Zanpakuto. "I have gotten orders to not kill you. We will fight one day, but for the meantime you shoulder be worried about this," Kimimaro said as the cylinder opened containing Sasuke. "Sasuke," Naruto said, but when he said his name the Uchiha ran off into the forest. "Better go chase him," Kimimaro said. Naruto began to run as he looked at Kimimaro briefly, seeing that the man looked at him too. When Naruto was out of sight, Kimimaro disappeared, taking the open cylinder thing with him. Naruto continued to chase Sasuke. His Ryatsu was stronger than before, but at the time it didn't faze him. They then arrived at a big lake with a waterfall and a huge monument of two ninjas standing opposite each other with the waterfall between it. Sasuke was standing at the coastline. The Valley of the End, a fitting name for our fight, isn't it, Naruto? Sasuke said. Fight? I didn't come here to fight you, Sasuke. I came here to bring you back to your senses. Orochimaru is evil, Naruto shouted. He just has different motives for settling things, so do I, and if you want to bring you back, you're going to have to fight me. Sasuke said as he unsheathed a sword, but not just any sword, it was Kusanagi, Orochimaru's sword. You seem to give me no choice, Naruto said as he unsheathed his Zanpakuto. Sasuke then turned around to reveal markings on half of his face, his eye yellow and the whites of his eye turned black. That will be all for this video. Be sure to like, subscribe, share, and comment down below for more videos. Goodbye.